Hello, all you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players out there. This is Dragothien here, and today we are going to be talking about the upcoming patch. They've been doing a lot of maintenance and a lot of patches lately, which I guess I'll take. You know, that means activity, that means changes, that means upgrades, fixes, optimizations. I'm okay with that. For the most part, there's still things to be done. We're still missing our Barbarian Fort Finder. We're still missing a gem node finder. I mean, just basic stuff, but this is all good, and we're going to talk about this. So I've gotten a lot of feedback on people very curious, apprehensive, anxious, scared about the equipment system optimizations. We're definitely going to have some discussions about that. I also want to just go over my impressions of what some of this stuff is as it's coming through. I also want to talk about some misses. So there's definitely some misses in here that I want to go over, and I'll quickly go through that stuff because I want to use the majority of my time here to talk about the equipment system optimizations, because really, this is the big bulk of the change. This is going to change the game, guys. This is not a small patch. This is something that's going to definitely affect the game, how it's played, for good, for bad, for sideways. I don't know. We're going to talk about it and kind of go through what my thoughts are. So let me save the equipment piece to the end because I want to basically use the majority of my time there. And we're actually going to start with a miss. So number 2, Light and Darkness event optimizations. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yay, this is going to be so great. And then they just talk about fixing a team window thing and translating some things and showing if you won or lost in the kingdom menu, which is great, I guess, but nothing in there about fixing any of the massive amount of issues that is Light versus Darkness KVK system. So a little bit of a miss here in my opinion. It was it's like your uncle coming in and dangling $1,000 in front of you and just taking it back and going and spending it on drugs or something. So this is not worthwhile. It's something you can just kind of skim over and move on. And honestly, I was hoping for some, hey, we've done some optimizations to how you can fight earlier in KVK, or hey, we've done some optimizations for Kingsland so it's not basically Pixel Fest. Something, or some changes to the way it's set up. So hopefully that's coming. Number 3, other optimizations. There's some good ones in here, and then some basic generic mech ones as well. Optimize the leaderboard in the Sorority Crisis event. Now every general has their own ranking. That's not bad. Adjusted the difficulty of some of the generals to rebalance the Sorority Crisis event. It is a little bit tedious unless you've got max commanders, like max governors with, max tech and really good commanders. You have to have that to do it at the highest settings. Maybe that's what they're referencing. Because for the average player, like even my alt account, my alt T5 account, because the commanders aren't like really good, they're just mostly good, it's a lot more difficult. Let's see, fix an issue that caused poison effect. That's a problem, fix it. You now need to go through a confirmation box when you choose max while using items. That's also not bad. I think that's really good. I hope that also translates to the action point use when you go to use action points. That would be good. Make sure people don't spam up 40,000 action points when they're not ready to use them. You now can choose to add the same materials as last time while upgrading the star level commander. That's helpful. That also helps you spam a little bit quicker, which should give you more procs. That's good. Commander talent Trophy Hunter now takes effect only when you defeat barbarians with the use of action points. So a little bit of a nerf there, but not game changing. I mean, yes, it's less. Yes, you won't get as much. This really only affects people who really AoE farm like religiously. For those of you that just do it once in a while, you're not going to see that much of a difference. But for those of you that do it every day, this is a big nerf to you. So I apologize. You're going to feel it, but for the 95% of the player base that does not AoE farm, this is a non-factor. And then defeating a Marauder encampment during Stage 3 and Eve now grants the kingdom a fixed amount of Crusade points, which is no longer affected by the number of troops. This is to help against botting, guys. So all those 331, 341, OV 254, back and forth on Facebook, botting for this no longer applies. Now, botting still will apply for Marauders. Because honestly, I mean, again, if you are only getting a fixed amount of points per fort destroyed, botting's still a thing, but it's not nearly as much. I mean, when you've seen the proper bottings for Stage 3, I mean, there's 50 players coming into a fort rally at once instantaneously. It's kind of fun to see, fun to watch, but at the same time, super super cheating. So that's hopefully going to fix that portion of it at least. This affects all KBKs, not just light versus darkness, but that's nice. Okay, so I've used half my time for the other stuff, but this is the biggie, right? Equipment changes. Now, equipment changes are going to be a big deal. There's a couple reasons why. As I go through these numbers, I will explain why I think it's going to be a huge deal. First off, it says number 1, we only have now 4 types of equipment materials. That is a good thing. That is a positive thing. The less types of equipment materials you have to choose from, the more you can focus in on getting multiple different types of equipment, because more equipments will have the same type of materials used, so you can really kind of choose on the fly what you want to have versus having to, okay, I just got a pair of Shio's Return. I have absolutely no leather and no ebony. I need to start from scratch. Whereas with 4 types versus the 6 types that we have, it'll be a little easier for you to kind of adjust on the fly whenever a nice piece of equipment comes out. So I like that change. Less difficulty, less tediousness is good, in my opinion. Second, improve the attributes of some equipment to rebalance the system. Now, it says improved. It says improved. It didn't say adjusted the attributes. So to me, because the first thing when I read this, I was like, oh crap, there goes the Vanguard set. There goes the Vanguard set. Because all the free-to-play are just up in arms. They're going to change the Vanguard set. It's possible. It's possible. I don't see anything in here specifically that says adjusting down or adjusting. They all say increases, improved, positive words. So hopefully this is not Lilith speak for improved in the sense that now it's hard for you to get stuff. So that's not hopefully what's happening. Improved attributes of some equipment to rebalance the system. I personally think they're going to leave the Vanguard set alone, or they're going to remove it altogether. One of the two. They're going to either leave it alone or they're just going to pack it up, because they've in some of the later stuff here, they've reduced the cost of the blue and the purple equipment, and they said they're improving the attributes of some of the equipment. That's the problem with the Vanguard set. It's not necessarily that it's so OP. It is nice and it's very, very low, but it's the best thing you can get. It's the best thing you can get for a cavalry commander. You've got all these top tier Generation 4, Generation 5 commanders using green gear because that's the best you can get. So what they're going to really do is they're going to improve the blue and the purple gear alongside of hopefully the legendary gear, to be honest with you, because a lot of that's even a little bit subpar, especially for the cost that you have for it. So I think they're going to probably just keep the Vanguard set, or they're going to remove it altogether. And then at that point, all you have to worry about is trying to figure out what to do next. But hopefully they won't be doing that. Number 3, added a lot of new equipment. You have more choices now. Again, this kind of goes into what I was just saying. I think they're going to add a bunch of equipment in that's going to devalue the Vanguard set more than reducing the stats of the Vanguard set, or even, like I was just saying, removing the Vanguard set. I think personally they're just going to add a ton more choices, and it's just going to be better. Like, there's just going to be better equipment for you to use finally for a cavalry commander than 2 pieces of green gear, which obviously we all have enjoyed, right? But for those of you that are strictly archers or strictly infantry, you kind of got hoard a little bit, right? Like, you got these commanders running around with basically legendary gear that's green. You got these cav commanders running around and they haven't spent a dime, whereas you're on the infantry, you need to go get Milky Way, you need to go get you need to go get a bunch of different legendary gear to really be top flight. Not Ian's choice for archers, but Shadow Legion's breastplate. You need to get Shio's Return. You need to get Eternal Night. I mean, all these legendary pieces of gear that cost a fortune to make. Whereas, again, cavalry commanders are like, I got my green gear, I'm set. So that's a little bit frustrating, and I think there's some value to that conversation. Not just give everybody green set for cav commanders and then move on. So I think there's some value to that. Also adjusted the equipment blueprint drops. I don't remember seeing any blueprint drops in Ceroli other than what you purchase in the shop, so maybe we'll get blueprint drops when we fight bosses. That'll definitely make me want to fight these bosses a lot more. Ian's Ballads, that was a little bit of a pain in the butt because all I really ever got was Harvester gear. I know the majority of people have started to get some of the revival set. I just never got lucky enough to get it. Shadow Legion's Invasion, please give me some more blueprints. I see maybe 1 or 2 drop altogether, and there's 25 waves for 150 people. 2 blueprints out of that? ridiculous. So obviously we need some more there. Sunset Canyon, other than the actual chests, maybe there's more and better equipment that's coming through the chests that you get every day in Sunset Canyon. You definitely don't want to skimp on that as a daily activity for your account. Golden Kingdom, again, there was some blueprints there, but nothing crazy. Hopefully there's going to be more there, and other events. So they're really, really doubling down on equipment. I think we all saw this coming. Instead of, there's a lot of videos out there now that's starting to talk about level 30 and T6 and stuff like that. I've not heard any rumblings on it. I've actually had the level 30 pictures for quite some time, and I just don't believe it. I don't think it's an actual thing, at least anytime soon. I've asked my contacts that I've got, and they've all shaken their head and say we have no plans on making level 30 anything anytime soon. I mean, they're gonna be VIP 20 first before there's level 30 buildings and all that stuff. So I think that we'll see more VIP changes than we will level of building changes, because they're talking about doing exchanges for researches and building speed ups and all those things that a lot of the top spending higher level players have in spades, like stockpiled. Why would they do that if they're going to be basically increasing the levels of all the buildings and tech? I mean, if you're going to increase the level of the buildings, why would you not also increase the level of the tech? I haven't heard any rumblings of that. So I mean, I don't see that happening. I think that we're going to be 25 for a while, guys. Reduce the material cost of forging for most elite and epic equipment. This is huge. This is big. This is very big. I wish it was for legendary gear too. This obviously needs to be addressed for especially the accessories, the coin, the pendant. Both of those need to be adjusted down. I know they're really good, but they should not be 120 legendary materials good. That's just retarded. That's literally equipping your entire account with proper epic and legendary gear without having accessories. It just doesn't make sense to have that be the case. And now that epic and elite equipment is going to be cheaper as well, it's going to be even bigger of a divide. Really, that legendary gear is going to be for the high spending, which is what we're going to be getting into in the next couple questions here too. So also added a new type of chest, equipment chest, to your tavern. Cool. Another way to get blueprints, to get materials, always a good thing. Because right now, really the only way to do it is Sunset Canyon, doing some of the events, and purchasing. So another way to maybe win chests and things like that, I think maybe the daily quests will give you a key of some kind. Like we get a gold key every time we do the top tier. You'll likely also have, and we're going to talk about this on number 8, but there's going to be some kind of a super value bundle that will also have those equipment chest keys. I have a feeling, a sinking suspicion. So try to find their keys in events. It looks like they're going to have probably some kind of a Soroli type event where it's based on equipment, or again, maybe it's going to be Garden of Infinity for equipment chests. That's the other thing. So it could go either way. We're going to figure it out. Number 7, added equipment material chests and equipment blueprint chests to the VIP shop. This is awesome. Now the question is, does it cost gems or does it cost resources? Because right now we do have a material choice chest if you're VIP 16. So if you're VIP 16, you can get 2 purple equipment choice chests every single week, which do add up and are very, very good. And they're pretty cheap for gems. It's not bad. Now, do they add them as resource ones for lower VIP players? I think that'd be really cool to help support some of the free-to-play that are trying to get into the equipment, especially considering if they're not, legendary or even epic, right? Like if it's elite or advanced or even obviously common, then those should be on the lower side, and that would help some of the free-to-play and low-spending players get some decent equipment, especially if they're going to be adding a bunch more equipment that's usable with more stats. That would be and make a lot of sense. I think that would be a good way to do it. Now, 8 is going to be interesting. They can go one of 2 ways with this. They can basically just replace the current system, the current hammer and anvil, and just add the event keys. Okay, they could do that. They can just basically make it hammer and anvil tagged as geared up. It's possible. The other way that they can do this is they can really make this a proper super value bundle. Now, if they do, I have a feeling that they're going to basically turn this into a living legend bundle for equipment. So they're either going to make this into a living legend bundle for equipment or like a resource reserves bundle for equipment. So I don't think they're going to do equipment, speed ups, resources, and, you know, the normal stuff. I think they're going to do it like Living Legend bundle, where it's like you've got different types of equipment materials, different types of equipment blueprints, you've got resources, no speed ups, and then gems, VIP points. I wonder if they're going to do it that way. So again, I'm anxious to see how some of these changes play out. Again, I apologize for the disconnection there, so you're not able to read everything, but luckily we were on the very last point. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.